welcome to watch it, but it is aimed solely at estate agents of the UK and hopefully what I call the good agents, the ones who actually care about their customers, uh, genuinely care, not just say they do and then let them down, but actually genuinely care. The ones who deserve more business than they're getting, the ones who are losing out to agents who are winning business that they don't deserve because of the trickery that they employ. And in this video, I want to explain exactly what I'm trying to do that will help more honest agents win the business they deserve. And it is this: I want to bring transparency to the housing market, in particular to house prices, because it is the lack of transparency that allows the bad agencies to get away with the marketing bullshit that they pull off because of the time lag between when someone's bringing their house to the market and when the prices get reported. That time lag is a weapon that bad and dishonest agents can use. And if the time lag didn't exist, and if there was real transparency about what prices houses were transacting at, then overvaluing would disappear. Because if there was transparency on house prices and what's actually happening in the market, good or bad, up or down, sideways, doesn't matter. But whatever's happening can be seen by everybody, then people will stop choosing agents based on how much they say they can get for your house, because they'll know what the market's doing. And instead, they'll be choosing agents based on service levels, which, as any good agent knows, is actually what really makes a difference to someone. Can we get you moved or not? So unless you're somebody that thinks that transparency is a bad thing, in which case I can't help you, and you're not going to like what I'm doing or what I'm saying, and this is actually explaining the reaction of some of the agents who are reacting to what I've been doing in the public eye to help the public understand more about the process of moving house and why estate agents are so important in the process of moving house. This is why I am the biggest public supporter of what estate agents do, and the fact that all estate agents are not the same, and the fact that your choice of agent as a seller is the single most important decision that you will make if you're moving house. So I am, at the same time, the biggest supporter of good, honest estate agents and the harshest critic of the dishonest, trick-playing, bad estate agents who deploy underhand, disingenuous, and downright dishonest tactics to get business and get sales at the expense of their customers, or at the expense of a lot of their customers, at least. Some of you will know that in the last few days, I've had some very vocal opposition from agents. But what none of those ones have done is actually challenge the message that I've been giving out. They haven't come to me and said, Charlie, we have a problem with what you're saying because you're wrong here, here, and here. What they've done is they've come out and they've personally attacked me, and they've tried to gather a crowd of people. It feels like, do you remember what it's like in the school playground when the lead bully gets everyone else to come along and pile on top of you? Even if you're right, they don't care. They just want to punch you in the face. That's what it feels like at the hands of the agents who are only in business because they get away with overvaluing and because they get away with this bullshit narrative that house prices won't fall and they're only going to go up. Now, I don't want house prices to fall. I don't want house prices to go up. I don't care. And the best agents that I've worked with and had the privilege of working with over the last 20 years have always said to me, it makes no difference to us what house prices are doing, because we don't make our money on the back of what house prices are doing. We make our money on providing fantastic service and getting people the best available price in today's market, whatever that market is, and getting them moved quicker than other agents will. Best available price in the required time. That's what being the best agent is about. Not about persuading, oh, we can get more, it's going to go up, and then spend the next 6 weeks going, oh, we've had some feedback and actually we need to lower the price, I mean, those of you who there are agents who indulge in overvaluing who don't care that they're doing it. And they don't care that they sign a seller up on a bullshit price valuation. And then they know they're going to come back and go, oh, you need to drop your price, got to drop your price. Then there are agents who have no choice but to go along with the overvaluing story in order to win the business, but they don't want to do it, and then also have to try and talk their clients down to a price that they can sell at, especially in a falling market. But those agents are the ones who do it, but they do it because they have got no choice and they don't like doing it and they prefer not to. Well, to those agents who are on the fence, I'm pointing out to you that transparency of house prices wins for honest agents and for movers, and would result in a higher percentage of your instructions actually going to exchange, fewer fall throughs, and a more profitable business. And this is the point, right? Transparency ultimately will lead to a better situation for everyone involved, both movers and agents. So what I'm asking in this video is, if there's anyone out there who's got a reasoned argument why transparency is a bad idea for the industry, I'd like to hear your thoughts on your arguments as to why transparency on house prices is a bad thing. Let me know. Tell me why. Because I can't think of I mean, even if I was on the other side, the only argument against house price and housing market transparency is for the tricksters who rely on that lack of transparency to get business. And without it, and if there was transparency, they simply wouldn't get the business, because movers would be able to go, well, I can see that's not what's happening with house prices, so I know you're overvaluing, and I want to move, so I'm not going to go with you. Yes, you'll still get the totally unrealistic sellers who just want to believe something ridiculous and will go with the and the overvaluing agents and those sellers deserve each other, because they both lose, don't they? It's a waste of time for everybody, and the agent doesn't make any money. But the other thing is this: as a human being, as a citizen of the UK, as a member of society, do you want affordability to continue to get worse? Or do you want more people to be able to afford their homes? Let me put it another way. Do you make more money when more people are moving, or when prices go up? Okay. Even someone who's not very good at maths, like my friend Rusty, can work out that actually, as long as people are moving house, it doesn't matter what's happening to house prices. As long as people are transacting, you, the agents, are doing well. And what happens if house prices don't go up is that there are more transactions. You go back to when house price before the crash, the volume of transactions was much higher. And that's good for society as well, because it means social mobility is better. So, with very few exceptions, rising house prices that are rising faster than people's wages ends up ultimately being bad for most people, and certainly bad for society as a whole. Okay? For lots of reasons that you all know. So if you are a reasonably minded agent who cares about the well-being of society as a whole, and who understands that actually you make money on transactions, not because house prices go up, and would like to be able to win business not by lying about how much you can get for the house just to get them signed on the line, but actually to win business based on how much better your service is going to be, then you're going to support what I'm doing. And let me just share with you, I'm going to share with you the current version of what I'm doing with Best Agent and its data to try to bring this is step one of transparency. Okay. Now, with house prices, the median price paid and the median asking price is a more helpful and more realistic number, and is closer to the actual price paid than anything else. Okay. Also, if you strip out unsold properties still marked as for sale, not marked as sold, and strip those prices out and just do an index of sale agreed prices, what you're seeing is the average and the median prices of the houses that are actually transacting. And the houses that are actually transacting are the housing market. And the houses that are sitting there not selling and never sell because their price are not the market. They're just a distraction, a red herring, and a waste of time, a waste of everybody's time. Okay, so there's nothing manipulated here in this information. It's all just, let me give you a comparison with this house price index versus the Rightmove and the Zoopla and the Halifax Nationwide and even the Land Registry. So Rightmove Is Rightmove's index of the whole of the housing market? No. Newly listed asking prices only, which is why it's so insanely high compared to how the average median price of houses that are actually selling. Okay, why does that happen? Because people think it generates more leads. Why does it happen? It supports Rightmove's business model in getting more leads through to you, the agents who are paying for it through the nose. And if you don't understand why that's an abusive relationship, and I'm not saying that it isn't viable for agents to advertise on Rightmove, but what I'm saying is if you're someone who resents them, then by continuing to overvalue and to use Rightmove data to do the overvaluing, you are feeding the problem. Now, Zoopla House Price Index is actually much better than Rightmove's because at least the methodology they publish is we're using actual sold prices, we're using actual mortgage approval numbers and algorithms to try to work out what the average house price values trading today are. And it makes it harder to pin down. And there's this difference between Zoopla's and the Nationwide and the Halifax. But I genuinely believe that the team behind the Zoopla House Price Index are actually trying to do something extremely difficult, but trying really hard. And that's on a larger sample of the market. So that is closer. But unfortunately, still, as most of you know, it ends up not being very helpful or very accurate because it's distorting everything else. So then we've got the lenders, and the lenders, of course, are only showing mortgage transactions, not cash transactions, and it's a relatively small sample of the whole market. But the figures on the screen here, right, are for all properties currently showing for sale and under offer across the whole of England. This is just England. And if you look at the difference between, let's just have a look. Let's have a look. So this price here is the median asking price of homes that are under offer. And this price here is the median asking price of homes that are for sale and are not under offer. And there's a £55,000 difference between those two. Now, I ask you, from a point of view of transparency, which of those two numbers is more helpful to people who want to know what's actually happening in the market, right? And it's obviously the 279,000, which happens to be much closer to the Land Registry's average price paid. So I might be missing something here. And maybe as an agent, you're going to tell me that, oh no, Charlie, actually, it doesn't help us to talk about that because, if they think prices are lower, they won't want to sell, and then we won't have anything to sell. Look, there are people who need to move and who want to move who don't move because the property gets overvalued, and people who genuinely want to move and can't because of the games and the tricks played by bad estate agency and by the lead gen industry that also promotes this higher values all the time. So I would love to hear from you if you're an agent and you think that transparency is in any way a bad thing. Because moving home is about so much more than just money, isn't it? Having a home, being able to move on to the next stage of your life. And that's why I understand that what agents do is so much more important than most people realize. And those agents who come into the industry and give it a bad name need to either change their ways or get out, as far as I'm concerned. Because until they do, this terrible experience for most movers won't stop. And the excuses I hear from agents where all they do is blame the movers. Oh, well, the seller was greedy. Oh, well, they changed their minds. Oh, well, those movers are coming in once to the industry. They're coming to move and then they're getting out. You're there all the time and you're going to blame them. They are playing the game that you're forcing them to play. So when I see constructive working relationships between agents and their clients, the thing that exists most of all is honesty and transparency. And it's just better for everybody. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I don't want to go on too long, but if you, as an agent, don't like what I am saying on the Moving Home with Charlie channel about the market, tell me exactly why. Don't say that you don't like the way I'm saying. And by the way, I know some of you have challenged me and said that the way I talk about agents and the way I say things is what winds you up. Well, I put it to you that it only winds you up because I'm right. And that's why when those of you who are angry with me come at me, you don't come at what I'm saying, you come at me. And if what I'm saying has touched a raw nerve, ask yourself why that is. If what I was saying wasn't right, would you care? If it didn't actually affect you, would you care? No. It's touching a raw nerve because you are cross because I'm pointing out the truth and it doesn't serve your purpose. Okay? Those of you who think I want a house price crash, I'm trying to talk a market down. No, I don't. Why would I do that? Estate agents are my clients. Why would I do that? Of course I don't want that. I just want moving to be easier and I want good agents to get the business they deserve. That's what I want. Why am I talking about house prices coming down? Because that's what I can see is happening. This time last year, Russell Quirk goes on TV and says, October 23, house prices will be higher than they are now. He said it on TV, on Talk TV. Well, he was wrong. Even the best one. So the nationwide yesterday, 3.3% down on October last year. Has he acknowledged that? Has he admitted it? No. Will he? No, of course he won't. Because he's someone who said to me in person on camera when I asked him, how do you feel about taking, this is from his eMove days, how do you feel about taking money off people whose house you didn't sell? He said, well, they pay the money that takes a choice. In other words, he's fine taking people's money and not giving them what they paid for. So that tells you what you need to know about his attitude towards customers. And the industry has got a lot of people with that attitude where you just go, it's not my problem if they're stupid enough to sign up and pay me their money. It's up to them, isn't it? Okay, fine. But what does that make you? If you're someone who's happy to take people's money and not give them what they were expecting, what does that make you? Even if it's legal, what does that make you? I'll leave you to answer that for yourself. I personally don't think that's ever okay to knowingly take someone's money and then not deliver them what they were expecting for their money. I think that makes you a word I'm not going to repeat now. All right. And I know so many good, honest, hardworking agents who genuinely care about their customers' move and genuinely go out of the way to achieve that move. And they have no transparency to the consumer. The consumer can't find those agents because they are in the minority. They are the brave, honest ones who will lose business rather than lie to win business. And I want those agents to prosper and flourish because the consumer needs those agents. And on that note, before I say something I might regret, I'm going to stop and wish you all a great weekend and look forward to seeing you on the next video. And please, if you are an agent who likes the sound of what I'm saying, let me know. Send me a message. You can follow me on Instagram, the Best Agent account on Instagram, Best in the comments here, or on LinkedIn, you can find me, or on X, Best Agent Boss on X. Please, if you like what I'm saying, let me know privately. And if you don't like what I'm saying, let me know. I don't care whether you like me or not. I'm not here to make friends or please like me, please like me. That's not my, I'm not going to change anything doing that, am I? No one who ever did that changes stuff. I'm going to call out bad behavior where I see it because it's disadvantaging unwary consumers. And if you don't like it, that's your fucking problem. That's just literally your problem. If you don't like transparency and truth, then I don't care if you don't like me for it. Again, that's your problem. You have to live with yourself. I don't have to live with you being dishonest. If dishonesty is how you make your living, well, hopefully you're aware of it and you don't like it and you'd like to change it. And I do not cast aspersions on the people who are having to be dishonest because their boss has told them so or they won't keep their job, although I'd always encourage you to try and find a better quality employer if you can. But to those agents who know they're being dishonest and don't care and keep on doing it and disadvantaging their customers, the sooner you're no longer in the industry, as far as I'm concerned, the better. And Best Agent is here with the stated objective of ending bad estate agency through transparency of the housing market and accountability for agents. And I'm going to make sure that the good agents get noticed and found. And if you don't like that, tough shit. Have a great weekend. See you next time. Bye-bye, guys. Hi, Scott.